Alright, today we're going to have another double bill of connected runs. And these aren't runs that I deliberately set up to be connected, they're just involving the same unit. In fact, they've got a bit more of a connection than that, and that is that they are both Manticore games involving Tier 1 units. Now, this first one is quite recent. The second one will be from back in December, and it's just been waiting to be uploaded for ages. But this run we're going to go for Goose with Manticore. And Goose is one of those units that I feel like it exemplifies what a Tier 1 should be, in that its ability is pretty relevant in the early turns, but the later the game goes, the more pointless its ability becomes. And so what I wanted to do was try and augment it as much as possible by having a Goose, Bakunawa, and Manticore. So the Goose reduces the attack on the front unit. If the unit is also sleepy, which is the ailment that comes from Bakunawa, then its first attack will be considered at half damage. Then if we add the Manticore on top, that's going to compound the sleepy ailment and reduce the first attack even further. So the idea is that we have the big Goose up front, and then hopefully it's going to be able to one-shot as many units as possible that have heavily reduced attack. So we've got a couple of geese here, and I think, I'm going to take the puppy there. I could have gone for Griffin. Yeah, you can see I'm thinking about it after I've already bought the lasagna toy. And there is another goose. Do I freeze it or not? Yes, I do. And then we're just going to take Skunk for now. I'm not sure if it makes it into the final team or not. I haven't rewatched this yet. Double Flycatcher, you like to see that. Although it looks like we're going to be okay against them because we have no summons at all. Kind of Flycatcher in a nutshell, I suppose. And then I'm just going to save the level up on the Goose, I think. We're looking for multiple tier 6 units, obviously. And then here we're just going to use the guinea pig to frog swap the stats from the guinea pig onto the Goose. Just in time to knock out this mantis. Actually quite funny there that the mantis gets targeted by all of the stat reductions. We're still going to lose to the double weasel, but I always think it's funny the way that Goose always targets the front unit, and so when you have multiples it looks really silly. So we'll take Flashlight. Of course we are going to need at least one big unit for the sleepy to have any effect really. And then I'm going to take Parrot because I can use it as a bit of a wild card, and it will either be copying Manticore or copying Bakunawa depending on how we and how lucky we are with the various level ups. This looks like it's going to be a 1 HP win, which is nice, yep. But I'm sure I do end up getting rid of the skunk, or maybe not, I can't remember. I had quite a few different attempts at this, and there were many runs where I got very, very close to the end, and it all looked incredible. But then, even if I applied Sleepy to the entire opposing team, they just had so many stats that it didn't make any difference, because the Sleepy gets removed after the first attack. And then, of course, after that, if you don't immediately remove them, then it's still going to be a very, very large unit that you're facing. So here I take Quetzalcoatl to instant level 3 the Goose, hoping for either Manticore or Bakunawa on level up. We don't get either. At least here the chili overwrites the cold from the Frost Wolf, so we do win there. Now I do take the cat. I'm not sure if I really had that much good food in here, but I definitely think the higher health is more valuable on these weaker backline units, just in case they end up being able to break a tie and win just by surviving. So it looks like we're going to win again here. Yep. I mean, Skunk is just such a strong carry. Maybe I do end up keeping it in this game. I'm sure there were a lot of games where I didn't keep it, because I was trying to cram in more Manticores and more Bakunawas. And we keep getting Quetzalcoatl on level up. I guess we'll take another Flashlight since we have 3 hearts. If you have 3 hearts and you take Flashlight, you're guaranteed to get it. But, I mean, not that that ever stops me taking it when I'm on 1 heart. So another win. Maybe these wins are kind of surprising, but a lot of the time when you have the one big unit, it's amazing how effective it can be, especially when you have the skunk to remove their potential one big unit. So yeah, it does look like I'm going to end up keeping the skunk in this one. Especially since we're on 8 trophies already, so there's not that much longer left in the game. Now, they have Behemoth here that ends up getting the Stego buffs, so that's going to be the end of the win streak here, yep. But I still don't have the Bakunawa. I really just want to pill the Tar, and there it is. It's in the shop now. Because we have the Parrot ready, we can instantly get the triple Sleepy. It's definitely better, I think, to do it that way around than have the Parrot copying Manticore and only boost one of the Sleepy ailments. And the Sleepy is actually guaranteed to target the highest attack. We actually face this team, which looks like it's going to be an automatic loss, but look at the strength of the Sleepy plus Manticore here. The Goose actually sweeps the entire opposing team. Now that's not going to happen against teams that have scaled wider. That was a fairly big team for turn 13, but yeah, there are definitely bigger teams out there. And then here's another one with a huge unit at the front. We get 4 opposing units Sleepy, and the Goose is going to sweep almost the entire team again for the tier 1 plus Manticore win. So next tier 1 to get a bit of Manticore assistance is going to be the Firefly. And Firefly, I think, is an interesting unit. I like it a lot. You don't see it too often. I guess hurt teams probably have better options. The fact that it only does 1 damage to teammates is nice, so you don't actually have to have Garlic. But at the same time, you can only hurt... you can't hurt your entire team at the same time. You can only hit a maximum of 3 units on either side. But it does also have some nice benefits. Of course, it's a faint unit, so we can buy lots of possums in the early game and stack the buffs that way. But it looks like here, yeah, we've got a decent sized Firefly going already. This team has front Hummingbird. Not exactly sure why. I guess maybe they were just saving it for a combine next turn. But I think we're going to be able to scrape a win here. Yes. I suppose it depended what the faint bread spawned there. But we got the win with the platypus spawns. So now we'll use the standard gold recovery option with the chipmunk. And I'm looking for seagull, and we get it with only 1 roll. Or maybe that was 2 rolls, I didn't notice. And then we're going to sell the stoat. Unfortunately, it's Anubis. I don't think I really wanted Anubis for this game, but maybe I'm going to keep it. No, yeah, we're just getting rid of it. I think it's just because I just didn't have enough space in the squad for it. Also nice to just sometimes go for teams without using the most commonly taken sort of force multiplier pets. But obviously I did have it in this pack just because it makes sense with low tier faint units. So here the Firefly is going to get blocked by the melon on the elephant, but it does result in a draw. And what we're going to go for here, again, we're going to be using Parrot to copy either Bat or Manticore, depending on how we get things set up. And then we use the Seagull shenanigans to get the free potato. Again, it's going to be a similar story where the 4 units behind the Firefly are all going to be very weak. So it's good to protect them as much as possible and increase our draw or win potential just by having pets surviving. So level 2 cow, definitely going to need more stats on the Firefly to have much of a chance. Of course, Firefly being a low tier faint unit does mean that you basically automatically lose to a Mandrake team. Thankfully, they're not all that common. But yeah, I definitely did face a few while going for this. Here's another example of a pet that you can face a lot more regularly these days, which is the frigate bird. And clearly that's going to counteract the effects of the bat. Doesn't matter in this particular scenario, but the further we go in the game, the more likely that's going to have an effect. Now we're just going to take advantage of the fact that we have the level 2 cow here. And yeah, I think we'll boost up the seagull because we of course are going to need the seagull to survive if it's going to keep reapplying mushroom to the Firefly. Because in case it wasn't obvious, that's what we're going for here. You know, some builds, there just aren't that many ways to maximize a particular unit. I suppose we could also think about taking Albatross with the Firefly, but I guess in some senses that's exactly what the Manticore's role is here, is that it's going to be increasing the damage from each Firefly feint. So for now I'm going to take the chili until we find the mushroom. I can't remember if mushroom was actually just in the pack or not. It might have been that I was relying on either Starfruit or Cornucopia to find it, which isn't the best idea when you have a specific build in mind. You're better just putting the food that you need in the pack. Again, it looks like we're going to win. Similar story with weaker backline units on the opposing team, but that's just the nature of the beast. When you end up getting the level 2 cow so early, you'll find that you're very quickly outstatting opposing teams. And we're just going to hang on to the Manticore until we get the bat to level 3. We don't really need the cat here either. I think with the Firefly this big and the seagull this big, we're in pretty good shape. Now you do definitely see a pattern emerging in some of these games as we face elephant blowfish and the elephant team kills the blowfish and the kangaroo. You definitely do find these days that with the number of ailments on the go, there are a huge number of people playing either turtle, tar, or one of the other perk givers at the front. So if you don't daze them with Mandrake, then they end up removing all those ailments that we've applied, and which are definitely going to be needed for the Firefly team to have a chance here. But now we get the Manticore in, we actually immediately face opposing Manticore, so it's crisp versus weakness, and we lose the bat at the front, but I think the stats from the cow are serving us well, and the seagull is the sole survivor. So we just need to roll down for mushroom because we're running out of time in this game, and yeah, I'm just going to freeze the Manticore. Yeah, okay, maybe it does look like I was relying on Cornucopia. That was probably not advisable, but we do get the mushroom. We just don't have the mushroom on the seagull yet. 50-50 dolphin with double bird of paradise and level 3 penguin. Does look like we're going to win anyway though. Yep. I really wanted to get level 3 seagull. I mean, it would have been great to have multiple seagulls as well. But there we go. We get the mushroom, so we're going to be able to see the combo in action, even if it's only for 1 or 2 turns. And then it's a huge scaling team. They also have level 2 cow and level 2 elephant seal, but they just don't have any abilities. And each Firefly feint here is doing 10 damage to the cow, and then now it brings it into range of the elephant seal, and a second tier 1 Manticore combo crosses the finish line.